She was a mother, she was a neighbor, she baked sweets for friends. But the aroma of her kitchen hid something far more sinister. Human lives turned to soap and pastries. Death hidden in plain sight. Tonight, we uncover the horrifying story of Leonarda Cianciulli, the soap maker of Correggio, whose crimes shocked Italy and the world with their unimaginable horror. Leonarda Cianciulli is one of the most infamous female criminals in Italian history. Active during the late 1930s and early 1940s, she murdered 3 women and turned their bodies into soap and pastries. Her crimes were not only gruesome but also deeply symbolic, rooted in superstition and personal obsession. Cianciulli's story shocked Italy because she was a seemingly ordinary, woman-friendly, religious, and maternal, yet capable of acts so horrifying that they defied imagination. Born in 1894 in Montella, Italy, Leonarda Cianciulli endured a childhood marked by poverty, superstition, and tragedy. She lost multiple children in infancy, an experience that deeply traumatized her. Her upbringing exposed her to a world of mystical beliefs, fortune-telling, and omens, shaping a psyche obsessed with destiny, fate, and protection from evil. These early experiences instilled fear and superstition in Cianciulli, which later manifested in her dark and murderous actions. Leonarda married into a family of farmers and lived a seemingly normal life. However, personal loss and anxiety over death and misfortune drove her into obsessive behavior. She became increasingly fascinated with protective magic, rituals, and the idea that human sacrifice could prevent harm to her family. Her superstition gradually evolved into a dangerous belief system that justified murder as a means of safeguarding her loved ones. Between 1939 and 1940, Cianciulli lured 3 women to her home under false pretenses, often promising employment or assistance. Once inside, she murdered them using axes and other blunt instruments. Her obsession with protection and ritual led her to mutilate the bodies, ultimately transforming human fat into soap and body parts into baked goods. These gruesome acts were a fusion of superstition, obsession, and psychopathy, turning her domestic space into a chamber of unimaginable horror. Leonarda Cianciulli's use of human remains in soap and pastries horrified investigators and the public alike. The very items meant for cleanliness and sustenance became tools of terror and symbolism. Her crimes were sensationalized worldwide, highlighting both the ingenuity and the depravity of her methods. The bakery, which was meant to sustain life and nurture, became a site of death and desecration, forever marking Cianciulli as a criminal whose acts transcended ordinary violence. Psychologists studying Leonarda Cianciulli's case identified a complex combination of extreme superstition, obsessive-compulsive behavior, and antisocial traits. Her murders were not committed in anger or revenge, but through calculated ritual meant to protect her family. She believed that killing was necessary to prevent misfortune, demonstrating a chilling intersection of cognitive distortion, magical thinking, and moral disengagement. Cianciulli's mind offers a rare glimpse into how deeply superstition can warp morality and human behavior. The disappearances of women in Correggio eventually drew police attention. Investigators traced suspicious activities back to Leonarda Cianciulli. Upon searching her home, authorities discovered evidence of the murders and the macabre use of body parts in domestic products. Cianciulli did not resist arrest and appeared calm when confronted with her crimes, revealing a level of detachment and rationalization that stunned officials and the public alike. Leonarda Cianciulli's trial captivated Italy. The sheer horror of her crimes, combined with her maternal appearance and composure, fascinated and terrified the nation. In 1946, she was convicted of multiple murders and sentenced to 30 years in prison with an additional 4 years for mutilation. She spent the remainder of her life incarcerated, dying in 1970. Her trial highlighted not only the depravity of her acts, but also the societal fascination with female criminals who defy expectations. Leonarda Cianciulli remains one of the most infamous female killers in history. Her story continues to fascinate true crime scholars and historians because it combines domesticity, superstition, and ritual murder in a way that defies conventional criminal archetypes. She reminds the world that evil can hide behind ordinary faces, and that fear, obsession, and superstition can lead even a seemingly gentle woman to commit unimaginable horrors. If this story disturbed you, it should have. Because sometimes the most terrifying monsters live behind a friendly smile and a warm kitchen. Subscribe for more. Women Who Shocked the World.